This is 87.9 WKMU Radio, where mysterious news and stories are told by the strange or wonderful. Because if you've heard it, it's history, and if you haven't, it's news, and anything else is just our opinion.
So thank you for joining. I'm Sky. I am the weird one.
And I'm Blue. I'm the wonderful one. And this is Good Morning Earth. It's time to get up.
Let's get right into the news stories.
Let's jump right in. Before we get into it, here's a quick reminder to like, comment, share, and all that good stuff that helps us grow.
Because if you like us, other people might like us, and this will give more people the chance to find our stuff.
Yeah. You can find us on Twitter at WKMU Radio Pod and on our website, wkmu.podbean.com.
That's wkmu.podbean.com. wkmu.podbean.com.
Thank you. Thanks for listening, and back to our show. And just in case I missed it, Happy New Year's, guys. Happy Chinese New Year. Happy Lunar New Year.
Wait, what's the difference between Lunar New Year and Chinese Lunar Year?
I guess it's like Chinese Lunar New Year. The Chinese follow like the moon.
Oh, so it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, and it's Year of the Snake, which we've had a lot of jokes about that at work because snake means somebody sneaky. So it's like, yeah, there's snakes around.
Yeah, well, what am I? Do you remember? No,
dog?
I thought you knew off your hand.
I think you were a dog or a monkey.
Of course you would say that.
I'm a cock.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
You act like a dick enough.
I like them. Our neighbor is Chinese and they gave us a calendar. They're so nice. I really like things like that because it's red. You're supposed to wear red during this time. It's supposed to be lucky. And I think it's really nice that they gave us this red calendar.
Yeah, and I do like red. It brightens up the room. Goes good with that blue.
Yeah. But yeah, it was Groundhog's Day too, right after Lunar New Year's Groundhog's Day, and our Punxsutawney Phil told us that it's 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah, which means he saw his shadow. But it's really funny because he only gets it right 35% of the time.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not even like the groundhog does anything. It's a bunch of old white guys wearing top hats.
Yeah,
coming together like with brandy and tea. And be like, what do you think we should tell people this year? Should we say it's this or this? And there's like no almanac. There's no history. There's no
track keeping.
No, they're just like, what do we feel like? I don't know. It's kind of cold. I think it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter.
All I'm saying, if I was sitting at the table with them, I probably would have agreed. Like, yeah, 6 more weeks and then we good. Because every day I step out and I'm like, oh my God, it smells like spring. It could be snowing outside. I'm like, oh, yep.
That's just because you want it to be spring. Because it's your birthday,
you can
Halloween's
just tell.
coming.
There's like a vibe. I don't know. You could just tell. Maybe it's me because I moved into this apartment around this time. So I do feel like maybe that's what it is, that I just noticed the smell and stuff because it's like a significant time.
Well, here too, there's a lot more greenery and trees, trails, and parks on Staten Island compared to the rest of the city.
Yeah.
But did you know that at 35% is one of the lowest prediction rates out of all the groundhogs? Do you know who has the number 1 rate?
I thought Punxsutawney Phil kind of tells everybody the weather.
No.
There's another one? There's another guy?
Well, there's a couple different ones, but we have one from Staten Island. His name is Chuck.
Oh, that's
He's been
cute.
doing it for a while now. And he
wow.
actually says that it's going to be an early spring.
Yeah. I do agree with that. 6 weeks. And then we done.
No, 6 weeks is a stretch of the winter. It's supposed to, like, spring is going to come even sooner than that.
Oh.
Like in 2-3 weeks, it's going to start warming up and the frost is going to go away.
That's crazy.
Chuck does have an 85% prediction rate success. The biggest and
35.
largest of the world's groundhogs predicting this winter.
I think that's pretty dope. And he's a Staten Islander.
Yeah, we know how to do it right.
Yeah. A lot of people hate on Staten Island, but come on.
At least we're not a bunch of old guys wearing top hats, having drinks.
I think that's cool. I'm going to follow Staten Island Chuck from now on and listen to what they say.
And since he's predicting something that Phil isn't predicting, it's kind of like, well, who's going to be right? And I kind of hope, because I don't know, like, we're going to miss winter once it's gone, I think, when there is no more winter.
I don't know if I'll miss winter. I really like snow, but that's the only thing I like about winter.
I think humans in general are going to miss winter when it gets too warm
Oh,
out.
shit, when we're hitting record 100 degrees, 120 degrees, like Arizona weather.
It's going to be like 50, 60 degrees in the dead of winter and be like, ooh, it's chilly out here.
Yeah. Now I'm just really excited to start planting my sunflowers. You have to start after the first frost, and I really want to be one of the first to have some blooming sunflowers.
Yeah, I do like those sunflowers.
They're really cool. I didn't do them last year. Like I kind of lost track of time, and if you don't do them in March, you're done. Like you're
But
not gonna have them.
yeah, and if you ever get too cold, you could just hide out in the MTA train, the subways. Well, I guess you wouldn't because it's getting very dangerous down there now.
Yeah, no, I mean it's probably pretty freaking brick down in the subways too.
I don't know,
I
and I
mean,
feel like it's comfortable. You just gotta be worried about being pushed onto the tracks, I guess.
I was gonna make a really bad joke. I'm glad you made one before me because I was like, I guess that's why so many people are starting fires. That's
Wow,
fucked up. That's
wow.
fucked up.
I'm
We're
gonna
gonna have to censor
edit
our
that
show.
out.
Yeah,
Nah, I'm gonna keep that
yeah.
in. Everyone's gonna see
Oh
how
my
evil you
god.
are.
Nah. But yeah, speaking of the MTA, like they've been trying to do a lot of things to kind of keep crime off the subways. And like it's just been we've been going through it over here. I don't know if you guys have been following, but there's been a lot of like a hike in crimes, even though nobody really wants to admit it. Nobody like
No one's
political wants
reporting
to
it
admit it.
because no, actually, what it is many people aren't really saying it's happening because they know nothing's going to happen. They'll get arrested for the night and then they'll get
Right.
released in the morning.
Yep.
And then they're back at the station the next day doing the same shit they were doing yesterday. So why am
It's
I going to
true.
say anything when it's just going to happen tomorrow regardless?
It's true. I think that's a lot of New Yorkers' mentality. They just rather deal with the situation themselves than go find like a police officer
Which is
or
usually
whatever.
just being quiet and staying in the corner and going
Yeah.
to the next
No,
car.
yeah. Just kind of, okay, next time I'll carry a knife on me when I get on the subway or something. Like, I don't know. It's fucked up, but they want they're saying that if people pay their fare, they're less likely to do a crime. But I feel like I don't know about that. But they've been
I could pay
forcing
once and
them.
stay on there the whole day and just commit crimes while I'm in
Yeah,
there.
or how do you know somebody's not gonna swipe in a criminal? Because I know like that's another thing you New Yorkers like to do. Like, oh, why I have it
Pay
unlimited?
it
Like,
forward.
let me swipe you in. Yeah. So I don't know, but they did the thing. They put up these like walls at the
Oh yeah,
turnstiles,
that's not going to help.
and like yeah, maybe it'll hurt their hands a little bit when they're hopping over the thing, but
That's
like,
but that only takes care of the people who hop over the turnstile. We've seen plenty of videos where someone sticks their leg over,
yeah,
pulls the turnstile back a little
yep,
bit, brings it forward, and then they walk through.
or like climbing underneath,
Yeah, I'm a big
or
guy. I could crawl underneath.
there's still doors, emergency exits that somebody could just open and let everybody in. So it's kind of like I don't know what the MTA is going to do because if we have more police officers in the stations, we have less police officers out on the ground.
Here's what I'm
I don't
thinking.
know.
Since AI is taking over everything and jobs are becoming automated and you don't need them to be in the rooms anymore to give out Metro cards, keep them hired and put them on the train. One every two cars so they could go back and forth, especially when the new cars come in.
So
Where
every
you walk
train
through.
car is going to have like 5 employees on there?
No, because eventually the cars coming in New York City are going to be one long one. So you only need one or two people to walk back and forth
Yeah.
to keep like let everyone know there's a presence.
All right,
here.
so you got police or MTA employees on the tracks. What about on at the stations?
Well, the cops are there now. Like
So we're going to put cops at every station.
Well, I don't know
and
what we're
then
going to do, but they're putting
MTA
cops at stations that are typically trouble.
I remember them doing that, like putting cops at like 42nd Street and 34th Street. And like, I guess it does bring comfort to riders, but I don't know if they really like do anything. Like, does it really deter crime? I
I don't know.
don't know. Like, I
Well, you hear
just
what
feel
the
like, yeah, it's
you,
going to happen if it's going to happen.
yeah, you hear what the NTA is doing with they actually get all the money from the congestion pricing that we talked about
Oh,
in the
yeah.
last
So
show.
that's another thing New York City's going through congestion pricing. Now, anybody below 60th Street has to pay $9 to go around the city. Nine fucking dollars.
If you're in a car.
Yeah, right. Any pedestrian is, that's still free. It's still free to walk around New York City for the most
If
part.
you're broke too, or if you work as a delivery person or a taxi driver, you can get exemptions from that.
Yeah, I hear taxi drivers are not going to put congestion price onto the riders, so they don't really
They
have to pay
shouldn't.
for that shit.
But then it's interesting because then MTA will get all this money, and they get all the reason they've been doing this is because the MTA is notorious for not handling its funds correctly.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the money goes. I'm having a Mandela effect because I remember years ago hearing a story about how the top officials in the MTA were getting like $1 million bonuses, but they were just raising prices on everything. And it's funny, I can't find that story anywhere.
Mm.
I don't know where it went. I Googled it, I grokked it, I meted it, everything. I
Yeah.
can find nothing. But I really remember people get in trouble for their high, like really high bonuses.
Yeah, I think I know. I feel like I heard about something like that because so the Metro card, you would buy like a $10 Metro card, and they would be it'd be like a $10.50 Metro card or something like that. So at the end of the week, you maybe had like 15 cents left on your card. And I guess that was to push people to refill their Metro card. But a lot of people weren't doing it and they were banking on people not doing it. So they were basically, I feel like that's where their $1 million bonuses were coming from. People were paying these extra like 15 cents that they would never like cash in on. So they were
also,
getting all
if
this
you're not
extra
putting
money.
money back into the system, that money sits there. So it's like, they probably came out of money like
Yeah.
that, like that was
Yeah.
supposed to
They
be
were
for
like,
other
oh,
stuff.
nobody's using this. So
Yeah.
they took it for themselves. And honestly, I have no issue with the MTA and how things are running. I think that is bullshit. The bus situation, but I guess that's where the congestion pricing comes in, where like less cars on the road, better bus ridage and stuff. Like, you
All
know
I
what I
know with
mean?
all that extra money, because it's like like $500 or something like that, they're supposed to
Hmm.
get, or even more or less,
Hmm.
whatever it is. It's a lot of money. I really hope the money goes to things that fix things.
Well, what do you need fixed? Like what, the subway ceilings leaking and stuff?
Well, there's no, besides normal upkeep. Yeah, you got to get fix the leaking and all those other problems, the rat problems, garbage problems, anything that could start fires. But what about some doors on the thing so you can't get pushed on the tracks?
Oh, so actually where I'm from in Bushwick, they have like they have a bar, like a gate wherever the train kind of opens, they have like a gate so that you don't get pushed in.
Well, that's a start. And then the having the one car train system makes it easier to police because you don't need to get off every station to go to the next one.
Are they really going to do that? Cuz I know they've been coming out with new subways. Like are they really going to do this like open gangway or whatever the hell it's called?
I hope so. I think it would be very helpful for things that
Yeah, but what
people.
if like that stinky ass homeless person gets on now the whole train smells?
Well, that's the thing. If it's more likely to cause an issue with new funds, I'm sorry, but if I'm paying and in the future we're spending $5 on a ride, if I'm going to be spending upwards to this much money, then I need a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more where I'm not smelling shit everywhere I go.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something about the homeless problem too. Like New York City has a lot going on right now. Like I really would hate to be the governor of New York right now because
It's probably their
we
fault.
have a lot. We have like an immigration problem, a homelessness problem. Um,
You know me, I
you
like
know,
Strange and Wonderful. I'm the strange one. The things I see in New York City is UFOs and drones. There is such an
a
upkeep.
drones problem.
No, yeah, no, for real. Like in 2025, there's been a huge uptick in like New York City is basically becoming a hotspot for UFOs. Like even so much so that a Portuguese man made a post on Twitter yesterday or X, and he shows like a fleet of like these UAP looking things just sitting in the clouds as he's going across. I don't know where the video's from. I can't verify it, so I'm not gonna say it's true.
Mhm.
But there definitely is an uptick, and a lot of that is the drones because for everyone, New Jersey was talking about it, Staten Island was talking about it. There's drones everywhere. We finally had the government tell us what it is, and it's the FAA running tests and gathering data. Why couldn't they just tell us this before?
Who's the FAA?
The airlines that runs the air, the sky.
Okay,
So yeah, so it's basically
no, that's
them.
true. Why couldn't they tell us that? That's really weird.
Yeah, and then people who had their own drones was like, "Oh, this is cool. Let me add to it." You know how phenomenons come. They see something in the sky, they want to be part of it. So they start sending up their own
Yeah, I
drones.
mean, why wouldn't somebody pull up their drone and kind of, you know?
Yeah, there's like 50
I
right here.
feel
I'm going
like
to
that
join
makes
right
a
in
lot of
there.
sense. Like when somebody does something dumb, the next person will do it too because it's funny. Oh, that actually reminds me. This is kind of random, but it was like this art competition, and there was like a first place and a second place, and the second place was this beautiful like frog. Every detail of the frog, every spot and freckle and everything. Like it really was like this beautiful, realistic looking frog, and that came in second place. First place was this line drawing of a frog that looked like it took 2 seconds, maybe made by a kindergartner. And I feel like that's an example of how society has like humor. They think it's funny to pick this one as a
First of all,
first place.
I think
You know what I mean?
I
Like this
I
type
know
of
what you
shit. This is
mean.
the place we live in, guys.
I know what you mean, but I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that people nowadays are okay with lazy production.
Yeah. No,
Like,
you're right. Facts.
look
Yeah.
at our new theme song is AI generated.
Yeah. You love
Oh,
your AI.
but I only use it because if I had like everyone wants to get paid, but podcasters don't get paid right away. So we're doing work for free, and then we have to ask audio people and then artists to do work for us for free in hopes that we make it big and then we can pay you.
Yeah.
People don't want to do that. So what do I have to do? I have to turn to AI as a way to bridge the gap. Otherwise, as soon as we make money, I'm going to hire people whose artwork I like and I want that style and I want music, and then I can tell them what I want, they can make it. But until then, I have to rely. And I
Or
think that's
maybe
a
by
issue.
then I can make music.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Let's do it. But it's actually been reported by the National UFO Reporting Center, NUFORC, and numerous articles, including the New York Post and others, stating that 2025 and New York City is like the new hotbed for. And I haven't seen anything. I've seen drones like making the same patterns, but I haven't seen anything crazy. Have you?
No, I mean I know there was like those Christmas the drone light decorations,
Oh, those are
like the
cool.
drone shows. Those are pretty fucking cool. I remember we had our friend over for Christmas, and I was playing YouTube videos, and we were watching them, and he was bugging out about the type of shapes and imagery these drones could do. He's like, "These are the ones that are gonna take over the world," and I'm like, "It's true, it's true."
Now this episode has been a little heavy on New York City news.
Yeah.
I want to branch it off because this is really like new news from yesterday. Do you remember a person from 2011 named Ellen Greenberg?
No, I only know Joe Greenberg. Wait, was that his name?
I don't know.
I think that was his name. Goldberg, Joe Goldberg.
So Ellen Greenberg was a 27-year-old first grade teacher who she was actually found dead in her apartment on January 26, 2011.
Okay.
She was discovered by her fiance with 20 stab wounds, with 10 coming from behind. So originally they said, "Oh, this is a homicide," but the then the Philadelphia medical examiner, Dr. Marlon Osborne, actually said, "Yeah, this is a homicide." But afterwards, he went and talked to the cops, and after conversing with the cops, he changed his ruling to a suicide. Now, we're talking about a person who got stabbed 20 times, 10 times in the back.
Like assisted suicide?
I don't know what they're trying to say. They just, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. But they were, and this is after talking to the cops. They're like, "Oh, you know what? Let's change it."
That's weird.
Mhm.
It's like the cops killed her or something.
Yeah. And ever since then, Ellen's parents have contested. Their names are Josh and Sandy Greenberg. They're trying to get like the ruling overturned because it's like, how can it be suicide? It's like some of these JFK things where it's like, oh, they committed suicide. Well, why is the gun in the wrong hand? And why is it like the gunshot in the back of the head? Who shoots himself in the back of the head? And it's like one of those weird things. And they just let it go. It's been 14 years. No one said anything about it. But now Dr. Marlon Osborne officially yesterday recanted his original suicide ruling. And now his change in stance was publicly acknowledged with a legal verification, like I said, February 1st, 2025, where he stated, "It is my professional opinion Ellen's manner of death should be designated as something other than suicide." Anybody with half a fucking brain, you don't need to be a doctor to know if you got 20 stab wounds, you didn't kill yourself. And this is what I don't get. This is what one of the problems that I hate, and I love. I hate is that it's like the JFK thing. There were so many things that people said, "No, that didn't happen. This happened." No, let's not listen to them. I'm telling you, this happened. And then later on, you got so many cases where the people in charge are making the dialogue for what's going on and telling you what's going on. And they're right here like, "Oh, no, it's a suicide." You cannot stab yourself 20 times, 10 times in your own back.
No, it's true.
And then everyone's just like, "Yeah, that sounds right." How can this many, like the whole Philadelphia, anyone who had any touching of this thing should just be thrown out of their position? That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, they lie all the time. Like, what can we really do about that? Like,
Well,
there's a
yeah,
lot of stories like that. Like,
yeah, all the time.
I don't know, like that kid Kendrick Johnson. Like, I'm still want to find out what happened with him. That he was, got he was in rolled up in a
I was
mat.
gonna say, is that guy who got his rolled up?
Yeah,
I think he just fell down. He was getting someone just threw his shoes down
yeah,
like a joke,
but
and he tried to go down and get it
it,
and got stuck.
I don't know.
It's unfortunate, but like there's so many weird things that popped up from that makes you wonder. Like the woman who was found in the water tank above her.
Yeah,
What was it called in L.A.?
yeah.
Sorry that we're being very vague now. This is just
Elisa
bringing up.
Lamb.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
I know their names. I know their
So now that
names.
he recanted this, there's actually new interest in the case, and there's actually an upcoming jury trial where the Greenberg family actually challenges the initial suicide ruling, and they're actually alleging that it's actually a cover up by authorities. But why? Who was she that you would cover that up?
No, it's true.
So the only thing I can think of is whoever did it tipped off the cops like, "Hey, I did it. I need them to get off my back," and they're like, "Oh, we got you." And
Her
switched it.
husband probably or something.
No, he didn't have enough power. He was just he was a husband of a kindergarten teacher. Like he wasn't nobody important.
I don't know.
So like, was this an affair? Maybe she had an affair with someone who was high up, and then because I don't understand. It only makes sense that someone with power can change the initial findings so much.
Yeah. No, we should do like a whole episode about like
Yeah.
weird stories like this.
Because the initial homicide ruling was Dr. Osborne initially finding of homicide was based on a number of factors and natures of the stab wounds, which suggested external attack. Again, you get stabbed 20 times. I would assume because you don't need to be a doctor to know this. And then they switched to suicide was made without a clear public explanation. Like they didn't, you only hide stuff when you don't tell people why you're doing things. Why'd you do that? Oh, I'm not telling you. Why? Because you're hiding something.
Yeah.
And now the Greenbugs have been fighting legally for like a decade to change the ruling back to the homicide. And this includes filing lawsuits against Philadelphia for the mishandling and cover up. And it's not even that we have numerous forensic experts, including Cyril Wecht and Henry Lee, who actually reviewed the case and found that suicide ruling to be highly questionable based on the ethical. Yes, anyone can tell. You cannot stab yourself 20 fucking times. I just think at this point, us as Americans have to wake the fuck up. And we stop asking why. Because anytime someone asks a questions, you get bullied or you get like, why are you asking that? Like, even when you're friends, you're like, oh, what's up? It's like sometimes they're doing something not supposed to, they get really weird and they're like, shut up, leave me alone.
I've gotten in trouble in school for asking why. Like we do certain things. Like it's weird.
You used to be able to question the government, the man. But now when you question the man, they have other groups stick up for them like, oh no, don't do that, don't do that. And it's like, why? What are you hiding?
Yeah. I don't know. But I always make it an effort to explain the why to people because, yeah.
That's what our whole show is about.
You don't really get a lot of answers like that in life.
We always ask ourselves why. It's always important to ask why. I think a lot of the reasons why we miss things is because we don't ask the why of it. We find out what happened, but we don't understand why it happened. And most times because these are mysteries, we're left without knowing. But it's up to us to continue the search. If something doesn't sound right to you, investigate it. I don't care if it's your girlfriend said she was at a party last night, but she kept making weird comments that doesn't fit up. She's doing something weird. Now, that doesn't mean she's cheating. Maybe she was looking for like a birthday gift or a fun Christmas present. Mm-hmm. But there's just too many weird occurrences going on in this country that it really needs to change. Enough of that, because I'm just driving myself crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you listening, you night watchers right now listening are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I feel like he wants to talk about so much more stuff than he's really talking about.
Yeah. No, we're gonna do another episode, I think, kind of based on what you were just talking about. I think it'd be really interesting.
More details come out.
And then like
we're gonna have a JFK episode 2 is gonna come out. We're going to have, because that's an important one, especially with all the information that's going to be coming out hopefully this year. So let's go back to a little bit like the weird stuff, the strange stuff. I know you say that you're the wonderful one, but you actually brought me some strange information this week.
Yeah. So, because I thought New York City was nasty. Like, people piss on the streets and the
Even on Staten
MTA.
Island, I walk by
We
the
have a
MTA.
rat
There's piss
problem.
smells.
Yeah. Because we don't have enough bathrooms around for the public to use. Like, we just don't give a shit about people.
Yeah.
We're like, piss in the street so we could give you a $25 ticket. So then we can send it towards the MTA.
And then I
guess.
go. And then I could go into an establishment and ask for water because it's a right to drink. But it's not a right to poop. Like, I have to leave your store.
The bathroom is for customers only.
Which I can understand, but come on. Do better. Do better.
Nah, so I'm thinking, New York City's nasty, but in Seattle, they have a gum wall. Like, there's literally a wall where people just pop it out of their mouth and stick it to the wall. And, like, every few months, they'll, like, scrape off all the fucking gum, and then they start it all over again.
Wait, they start all...
Yeah. Like, the wall just keeps going. Even if they scrape it and clean it, this is the gum wall. And the art must continue.
Is it art or is it just Legos?
I think, to me, it looks like art. But to me, if I was there, it probably smells disgusting.
You're
and I heard that some cities smell really bad. Like that Paris, it smells like piss.
Yeah, we went over that on the show, actually.
Yeah.
But, like, the gum thing, you're making it sound like the Bushwick Collective.
Yeah, nah, because it's
I do think
it's an artistic expression.
But for those who don't know what the Bushwick Collective is, it's an area in Brooklyn that's basically made for graffiti artists to come in and paint on all these walls, and then it gets people to walk around because there's so many of these tours going through the different bars and history of.
It's more like street art than it is graffiti, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, graffiti is just
walls.
Street art that wasn't allowed.
Not like the graffiti and street art.
Graffiti isn't allowed. Street art is.
Street art, graffiti is a type of street art.
Yeah, it's like how not all street art is graffiti, but all graffiti could be street art.
Yeah, not all street art is graffiti. Yeah,
but it is. But it's allowed graffiti
because art is like your own personal opinion.
But that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
Like, but. So you're saying in Seattle, and I want us to live in Seattle because I love the idea that it rains so much. I would love to just be constantly in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, the rain brushes away all the dirt and nastiness and
the
piss.
If you're traveling this great country of ours, please stop by Seattle and drop off your gum on this wall.
Right.
You could be part of America's culture.
I kind of like it. They kind of leaned into their dirtiness.
The grossness of it.
We'll just designate an area for you. If you must, just do it over here.
All right.
I love it.
All right, let's end it there.
Okay.
And that was our show, Good Morning Earth. Thank you so much for joining with us this fine morning and evening, all you new night watchers. I hope you like the name. I like the name. You like the name?
I think I like it, yeah.
If you're a night watcher, do you like being called night watchers? I think it plays on multiple levels. Because we're up at night, we're watching out for the truth. And back in ancient times, not ancient times, but in the Bible and stuff, they talked about the watchers, who were angels who looked over us. So let's be our own nighttime watchers. I like it.
I like it. So that about does it. Make sure you check on your friends, check on yourself.
And everyone deserves love, especially you. And that means that you deserve the truth.
This has been 87.9 WKMU production. Signing out.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless America.